All right, traders, welcome on back here this Wednesday afternoon, November 5th. Great to have all of us though back here. Otherwise, Claire, Brian, Barbara, Glenn, Charles, you got Kevin, Roberto, Greg, Tim, all of us though here. Give me a quick sound check to begin. Let me know if you got me here loud and clear. And with that, I'll tell you what, we'll begin this off with a little poll question. We started this afternoon off, at least, kind of quiet chat. And I was kind of figuring, all right, look, let's get a little engagement going at least. So I ended up posting a poll question, at least for all of us earlier, and a bunch of us wrote back. So I was kind of just asking at first, how on an average day, how many trades do you take per day? Day trading at least. So I'll pull this up for all of us on the recording, all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. Popping up as always lower left if you're not followed or subscribed just yet at Cyber Trading You. But just join us inside our live trading room. Margaret, Kevin, Bill, Barbara, William. I'll differentiate you from Bill I at least today. But Tim, all of us though here. I'm not just making this up, but just all of our students inside our trading room right now. Albert, there you go, and Sharon joining us as well. And they wrote back on an average day, how many day trades do you typically make? Most of us wrote back between 1 to 5, otherwise 5 to 10. And listen, 10 to 20 is not bad, and 20 to 50, if you make money consistently, then no harm, no foul, right? Who's to judge if you're making money consistently, mind you? And consistently doesn't mean like consistently once per month. I mean like on a weekly basis, if not every week, then at least every month to be profitable to some variation. If not a little bit, then a lot of it. But either way, if you are with us each and every day, you are going to find a good opportunity out there. We're making a lot of call outs for a lot of traders. You don't need to trade everything that we're calling out. With that in mind, I wrote back to us earlier. I said earlier today, I'm like, this is definitely going to be a day where I crack over 20. And that is true. But that doesn't mean that, that's always a good thing. So if the market allows us to try and continue to trade, great. If you, get stubborn and keep taking the same damn trade over and over and over and over, and you keep losing over and over, well, something's broken. So, there are times where I start to overtrade and I got to yank my own leash a bit. I'm like, all right, let's cut back. We're giving back more profits than we should be right now. And as long as you realize that at some point ahead of time, hey, that's still okay. Later, always good to have you joining us on YouTube as always. But the MTC trade just before this stock I didn't jump into. It was pretty quick, popped up very, fast, and out of nowhere it was up over 390%. Rich wrote that pretty early on. And one of our gold students, Tim, wrote just saying that, they're being delisted from NASDAQ. So, he was kind of just saying it was a nice move for the delisting. True, right? And actually, I should put this more in the phase one stock course when it comes to interpreting news. We just don't see this as frequent. But when stocks get delisted, typically you will see this type of reaction, maybe not up 300% or 280%, but the shorts will cover. That's where they take their profits before it gets actually delisted, taken off the exchanges formally. So with that, it ended up making a big squeeze up. But earlier, I think I wrote to you, Tim, right? I was saying that if it holds over 125 to 128 as support, that would be great, but I'd prefer it for it to go under than over, right? Under than over. So typically that means under and over within like a 1 or 2 candle sequence. This broke below and stayed under that exact area. Support should flip into resistance then cleanly. So even on a false break above it here, if it starts to nip over it on one candle, I'm not fully sold. So, I'll come back to this trade if we need to by the end of this meeting. But let's just check out the market altogether because SPY pushed up pretty nicely today. Looks pretty likely that we'll see it fill the gap from the overnight from Monday into Tuesday, that is. I think we got to still fill the gap from Friday into Monday, no? Or did we do that early? We dropped down and filled it on the downside early there. Okay. So it's more or less just the Monday into Tuesday gap that we got here, right around 683 and some change. I don't know if we'll do that today, perhaps into the overnight, into tomorrow, into Friday, maybe otherwise. I'm certain it'll get filled. But from there, are we going to continue? Are we going to see more upside within the stock market? Or are we going to see lower highs develop, lower low after that? Hey, if you're a student right now joining us inside our room, you know that we'll cover that pretty much each and every week. in our Traders Talk workshop. I'll talk to you on the side about that for personal positions you have in our coaching program one on one. But the market's doing pretty good today, right? Now, with that, Tesla was like ripping the roof off the place earlier today. Blasted over 455, blast over 460, hit 465. So you want to focus on your $5 levels for this type of trade. But needless to be said for right now, yeah, I mean, absolutely. Oh, actually, you know what? Now I finished up the poll question here. Give me a sec. There we go. All right. Just give me a sound check here, folks. So all of us inside a room, you still got me, right? I think that's the case, right? You got me. All right, cool. So yeah, Tesla here heading into the afternoon, just right away. That goes on our list. TSLL, that's the ETF. It's not getting expensive by any stretch of the imagination, but this was like a it was like a $7, $8 ETF at one point in time back in April, May of this year. And I recall trading it back then. So it's just kind of interesting to see it now all the way up at 22. Now, as far as the other larger cap stocks go, I don't know. Nvidia is just kind of laying around here, not really doing a lot. Amazon, I actually took a small short on earlier, made some good, not good, made some small pocket change earlier, just prior to 2 p.m. But now at this point, I'm not too certain about just trading it either way. Iron's actually doing pretty damn good. It's not exactly like a Mag 7 stock, but it's becoming more and more well known, right? Something that a lot of us here inside our live trading room tend to follow. So IREN, I don't mind putting this back on our watch list for the time being. CIFR, it's kind of curling back on up here. The good thing with this stock is that it's at all-time highs also. So much like the IREN trade, kind of, right? I'll come back to it if we need to. Novo is coming off of some news. This did make a good pop earlier. I also made some good money on Novo earlier, right off of 47.60-ish. It was a quick trade. I didn't think it would continue, actually. That's why I deleted my comments on it, believe it or not. Sometimes I'll delete comments if it's just a bad trade. If it's like a pop and drop call out, it's like, shit, I don't want anyone to get stuck in that. Well, here, I kind of anticipated that, even though I made money on the damn thing and it got out right below 48. But I thought it was going to dump off. So I actually removed my comments and I didn't want anyone to get distracted by this, but it actually pushed up more. So kind of got in my own head there a bit. But either way, heading into the afternoon, even this, we'll come back to it if we need to. It's not really up 5%, but it's at the highs. So let's just start from the top here. Let's go right from top to bottom here, see what we got. The MTC we said we'd already come back to, right? Now SLDP, whew, not really as much activity in pre-market. This thing was flat in pre-market. Gap up, but flat. So you don't really think much of it right away, but instantly when the market opened, actually, I shouldn't say that. A slingshot. It dropped first, but then just want to snap there for you. But yeah, this thing ended up making a pretty good push, though, all throughout the day today, but mainly throughout the first hour. Topped off right around 10:30, maybe a little afterwards, but heading into the afternoon, it's still kind of holding here, right? So I don't mind just kind of putting this back on our watch list. Hopefully, this just makes one more last push back up here, even before this meeting's over. EVC, it's kind of lingering. It's lingering. It's doing all right there for right now. Had a better push earlier today too. Come back to it if we need to. BW definitely trying to make a push here. Yeah, BW. I think I took this off my book map here. So let me put this back up on my heat map right now. Level 4. Yeah, you know what I was going to say? That figures. There's only one reason why that would look to make as good of a squeeze up here suddenly. It actually popped up a bit earlier, and it really did take some time. But this order showed up at $4.50 for about 36,000 shares. Look for this to ladder up over time, but it looks like now you're starting to see some better orders out there across the book. Earlier today, I just didn't really feel like you had that, especially here in this sequence. Just messy. I mean, you see stuff, but it's not as clear as kind of from a more zoomed out perspective here at this point. With this order that showed up on the bid, now you have an order on the ask. Obviously, the stock itself is going upwards, so that's proving itself more to you than anything. Yeah, BW. We'll put this back on our list though for the time being. All right. This thing's going up. TDC, just the only issue on it. The order book's pretty skimpy. Great trend, though. Really nice move up. Oh, it's a gap fill. Well, that kind of explains it. All right. I mean, if you're interested in seeing how a gap fill works, this would be a good case study. And follow that into tomorrow, into Friday. Head back to my 1 minute chart here. This VCYT actually has a pretty interesting daily chart. Let me look at this first. So this has some resistance right around these prices. 46, 47-ish, kind of where it's at now. I'll pass. SEDG, this has some good volatility to it. I don't know what news came out on this thing, but it's an energy stock. I know that. I think solar or energy stock nonetheless. All right, now Tesla's going up. Rivian is going up with it, but I think that there's also news separately with Rivian. No, I think they reported their own earnings as well. Quarter three earnings. They had a double beat. Yeah, double. I feel like their EPS missed, but their sales beat. But then they reported their adjusted numbers, and it shows a double beat. So either way, stock's going up. Now this thing's on some great volume when it comes to the order book, so you don't have to worry about that as much around these prices. The more any stock goes up in price, the order book will thin out a bit. But for right now, Rivian actually is put this near the top of our watch list, kind of pairing it up with the Tesla trade. Go. All right. What else we got here? Anything else looking good, folks? Tiva on the way up to 25. That's been a slow poke, though, in the past. Had a great move this morning, at least, but kind of done with that. APPS, this actually was interesting a moment ago. I might get stopped out on a small position here just in a moment, but you got some support kicking in right around 695-ish. I'm not fully sold on it now at this point. I was hoping for more from earlier once that order showed up. You trade. There's a lot that's technically up like some percent, right? But if it's not really trending at the highs here, like Coles is, this actually looks phenomenal. Pushing back up towards resistance that we had back from like a month or two ago, right around 1820-ish we'll kind of round up to. I like it. I'll add it for right now. If not today, into tomorrow, maybe we'll just kind of keep it on our radar either way. Good trade for right now. I like it. Zoom out here. CAN? The hell is this thing doing? This thing's like watching the grass grow, watching the paint dry. It's actually at the high of the day right now. Watch this thing like break out of nowhere for like 30, 40 cents. I say that watch it do that because we're not going to put it on our list. Watch, it will run without us. Fubo is still doing pretty good on the swing for this. I'm in from 371, 372-ish area. Looking for a much better move up over time. The long-term graph is not good. Not a fan of the long-term graph yet. I'll go over this more in our workshop going into next week. I'm probably going to hold this into next week, unless if it tanks. I mean, if it tanks, then different story. But so far, this has been pretty good today and pretty good from the day prior. Sunrun going up. Ooh, Sunrun. Meeting up with my buddy Matt later on today in Tampa, so I'll have to talk to him more about what they're doing. If anything, what he's already told me about Sunrun, and I mean this, I'm not just bullshitting you here. So my buddy Matt is like a project manager for Sunrun, so he's not like such a higher up, but he has a wealth of experience in project management there. He is like a senior project manager at least. But he's told me that Sunrun is the exclusive maker for the Tesla solar, or no, installer for the Tesla solar panels installer. So with that, it's pretty interesting to see them approach big historical resistance right around like 22, 20-ish. Probably going to take some time for that swing trade to come to fruition. But as a day trade for this afternoon, I like it. I like it a lot. So why not there? All right, now I'll tell you, we've already got a good list. We don't need to force it. So I'll hop over to the loser side right now, see if there's anything looking good as a short or as a dead cat bounce. This is dropping back down. BHVN. It's easy to borrow on my platform. Spreads tolerable for now. It's not at all-time lows, but it's sure close to it. And until it gets back up and above this thing here, I wouldn't be too bullish on the damn thing. So actually, yeah, as a short BHVN, definitely not as a squeeze up yet. Follow the trend first. Oh, actually, you know what? Hold on. Still not like expensive, but when we already have a good watch list already, and I'll probably toss one or two of the shorts I'm already in right now on the watch list there. I guess one of them, the U trade I got out on, I forgot. Pulled profit on that at least just before. I thought I was still in that for some reason. Pinterest dropping back down though, so I didn't trade Pinterest today. This is at the lows right now though. Good short, just easily enough. Put this on our list. I say easily enough because it's approaching big iceberg support, let alone just low of the day. 24,000 there, 27,000 here, kind of a stack. Kind of going through familiar names. Kind of going through familiar names, stocks that we've traded recently, stocks that we know of. This thing's been taking a hit, one of the casino stocks of late, or sports betting stocks, you can call it as such. We were talking about this for a little while since I think I got to go back longer term, right? I think I got to go back longer. I may have shown this on a trading view chart. I think something was funky there on TradeStation. But we were calling this out as a potential short off of lower high, lower low situation, maybe like a few weeks back. I didn't take action on this, but obviously today it really paid down about 10 plus percent. So for the time being, SRAD, SRAD, I'll put it back on our watch list. Went break even on SMCI short earlier, right around here from 43. Just one of those trades that lower highs. All right, let's get the lower low. And even here, it still didn't make it. So, I went break even on this earlier. This thing's been going back up, since. Not really too interested in it now. Cleaned up on U-Trade. Cleaned up on U-Trade. I'm talking about from yesterday into today. 3 for 3. This has just been a beautiful trend down. And I say that because we're calling it out to you. This is for you to make money on. All of our traders and students here. If you're able to short, if you are looking for a trade on the downside, this had good opportunity because the order book is pretty filled in, right? This is everything that you want to see. It's just like the SRAD trade or just like Pinterest. So, if you didn't jump in on U Trade here, you could have jumped in on Pinterest. If you didn't jump in on Pinterest, you could have jumped in on any of the others that we're calling out throughout the day. It doesn't need to be this, but this was a beaut. This was right there for us to trade and take. And even just before I got out on the last part of my position here as it squeezed back up before 230, I'm looking at a couple things otherwise on a separate chart on TradingView, and I'm playing with a couple things based on opening range and whatnot. But I thought we'd see this drop more. I was looking for more downside room, and well, I'll tell you what, because it's done us so well this just yesterday into today, I'm probably going to continue to look for more downside room at some point. So don't be surprised if you keep seeing me call the stock out, at least tomorrow. But for right now, I think that we're done with this trade. I think for today, we'll be done with this trade. All right, folks. Let me know up, down, left, right. Let me know if there's anything looking good here, more than 5%. In our chat board, Anna, Tim, Leda, Todd, Mike. Yeah, Novo had earnings. That's what it was, right? Yeah, kind of funky move though, down then up, right? So nice little trade from earlier, kind of a one off, and we'll follow up with it tomorrow. LAES is worth watching, Tim. Yeah, it's really tradable. We've seen the stock do even better. We've seen the stock perform even better. If it wants to break out of the shell on the daily chart, then game on. As far as this afternoon goes, it's definitely a good shout. I don't mind slipping this on our list for right now, Tim. LAES. Later on Sun, high of the day. Order book a little skimpy though for the price. I mean, we need better orders out there for like an inexpensive $4 stock. You got resistance here. That's actually nice to see. That's one part of it. It's like, okay, that's cool. I'll take that. But I'd rather have, especially with this, I then need to see like much more volume on the buy side, penny or two spread. Like the spread right now is like 10% of the stock. Actually, no, it's a lie. About 5% of the stock. I don't know. Lazy math. Todd, ASST, it's trying. It's like the little engine that could, right? Jeez. This might need to even fill out more long term, kind of time wise. Get more high, one more higher low kicking in before this makes one more squeeze back up again. Would love to see it. Would love to see that. Definitely tradable, but a little 50-50. I mean, I hope it pops. If there's a really good sign on Bookmap, then I'll add it. If there's something like point blank obvious right there that makes me add it, then surely. But let's see. It's like so slow. That's the only gripe I got on it. Oh, this has been out there for a little while. This order here on the bid, so at least that's there. But it's been there since like 11:30 in the morning. It doesn't hurt to add it, Todd, right? I mean, I just don't want to build too big of a damn watch list now. That's kind of my only thing now at this stage because we already have a lot on our docket, a lot that I do want to prioritize. Like EOS actually also looks pretty good, Mike. The stock on the long term chart looks pretty nice. We've been a big fan of the stock long term, and also as a gap to fill. So that also kind of is hard to ignore. I'd actually prefer that more than anything, but we'll add both. And that there, folks, makes me say, you know what? I think that we have enough to work with. I will check out Benzinga Pro, but unless if it's like getting halted to the upside, crazy move that we just missed, or news that's like breaking right now, I think that we got what we got. Yeah, this thing's all over the place. I keep seeing Kava on my losers list today. It's not even down big percent. It's just kind of making lower highs. Now I'm going to pass on that too. All right, folks, I'll tell you, I think that we got a great list to work with here for the time being. So, I think I told Rich just the other day that I'll tag in for him this afternoon. So you got me for the close, folks. How about that? Kind of more of a rare instance these days, but giving Rich the afternoon off. And then, just give me a second here because I'm going to reshare my own screen in just a bit. Just going to give myself a small break. We'll get set back up in a few minutes from now. And then I'll be back on top of the hour shortly after 3 o'clock, just to give you commentary going into the market close. Anyone on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., popping up lower left once more. If you're not subscribed or followed along to our live streams or any of our channels yet, just make sure to do so at Cyber Trading U. And hey, click the notification icon as well, so you know when we're going live, when we're not, etc., etc. If you know where that's from, then hey, I appreciate you there. But otherwise, folks, hey, enjoy the rest of the day, though. Hey, we'll be back inside our live trading room.